What's going on, everybody? C4 here, and today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're not just going to do the top 10 things to keep an eye on for Eagles Thursday night matchup against the Giants, because there's a lot of other Eagles news to go around. We're going to kind of combine it. It's not going to be a list when I'm talking about that game, nor is it only going to be talking about that game, because, yeah, man, there's a lot going on right now, and we need to address it. So, first up, we haven't really talked about the fallout from that loss against the Vikings. My thoughts, everyone knows, well, C4 wants Jalen Mills to move to safety. He wants the offensive line to play better. I mean, every Eagle fan wants that right now. So we're not going to continue to beat a dead horse. But when we do talk about the offensive line, there was news that came out this week that Steven Wisniewski, who was our starting left guard for our Super Bowl run, played pretty good in the playoffs. But he's just solid starting offensive lineman. He got benched for Isaac Seumalo last week, and Seumalo on his first drive, first 3 and out, he gave up 3 pressures. And if Carson Wentz wasn't so damn mobile, that was Nick Foles back there, I would not be hesitant to say 2 of those 3 pressures he gave up would have been sacks. So it kind of just instantly, Wisniewski was not playing that bad. I mean, Seumalo seemed to, be a little bit more consistent throughout the game. And I don't necessarily think that Wiz should have been the scapegoat for the offensive, mishaps. I think it's more than that, which is either, one, Jason Peters doesn't like playing next to him. There's reports that Jason Peters didn't like playing next to All-Pro Evan Mathis. That's why Chip Kelly let Evan Mathis go. And if that's the case, why, if he doesn't like the way Wisniewski plays, history has a strange way of repeating itself. If that's the case, I'm siding with the bodyguard on this one. If we had to pick or choose, do we stick with Wisniewski at guard and an unhappy Jason Peters, or make Jason Peters happy and then go with Seumalo, which is not that big of a drop-off from Wisniewski? We're definitely keeping the bodyguard at left tackle. Or the other reason is maybe they're throwing Seumalo in there because they want to put Wisniewski up on the trade block. Maybe they can find a trade partner. There's plenty of teams that Wisniewski could walk into and start right now. I'm not trying to act like, oh yeah, we can probably get a 3rd, 4th round pick from him. But he is a guy that if you are looking for a trade that involves picks and a player, Wisniewski definitely would add some value. So that's the segue. That's the segue into the biggest news of the week. Is Ajayi went down with a torn ACL. Reports say that it came while he was in pass protection against the Vikings. It wasn't like when he had that costly fumble, that Ryan Matthews-esque fumble that definitely swung a lot of momentum in that game. First of all, it does suck for Ajayi. I think he was our best running back on the roster. He looked like our best running back so far this year. He's in a contract year. I never thought at one point that Philadelphia was going to re-sign him. I thought he was always going to be a free agent. This just sucks, man. At the end of the day, we got to support our football players, and understanding that, this is probably going to make it pretty difficult for him to find big money elsewhere. It sucks for him because, he won the Super Bowl. He had a lot of big gains for us. Always has been a pretty good guy. Haven't seen much of that locker room cancer, which is the reason why, apparently, the Miami Dolphins shipped him. But the fact that he's out for the year, now it's just like, what do we do with the running back spot? And I have always been a firm believer on Corey Clement. I can't remember a time, has he ever got the opportunity to lead this backfield, lead the running back by committee anyways? Because let's be honest, since LeSean McCoy's here, Philadelphia for how long has he been gone? 5 years? 5, 6 years? Maybe it just feels like it's been that long. But Philadelphia's always been a running back by committee team since LeSean McCoy's been gone. So it's not like we need a guy that can come in and take 27, 28 carries alone, right? So understanding that, I think Corey Clement deserves the opportunity to be the running back 1 of this committee. Have him in there with Smollett, have him in there with Darren Sproles, but let him be the lead dog. And the reason why, Ajayi's been out before, C4, Corey Clement hasn't really taken a stranglehold of that backfield. We're seeing a lot of Wendell Smallwood. Well, that's because Darren Sproles has been out, and Corey Clement has to double up as our kick and punt returner when we had those games where he could have that opportunity. So they've gone with Wendell as the lead back, Corey Clement as running back 2, because he has to double up on special teams. So obviously you want to try to limit his ability and exposure to get hurt while he's actually playing running back, which I think is unfair to him, because I firmly believe he's 220 pounds. He can run between the tackles. He's not an elite athlete, but he's good enough, and he's good in pass protection, probably our best pass protection running back, which if you look at Wendell Smallwood is an absolute liability in pass protection. I don't think he's picked up a blitz once this year. Anytime he's had to be back there in pass protection, Wentz has either had to sack or throw it away. So, and he has great hands. He is as good, I would think, right now as Darren Sproles in that medium depth design passes to the running backs out the backfield. From a screen, I don't think there's a better running back on, maybe in the, he's getting old, but Darren Sproles on screen passes and stuff like that is one of the best in the league still at his age because he's so damn agile. But I think on design, this is our running back is going to be going 20 yards down on a design route. Corey Clement might be as good as Darren Sproles. So I firmly believe, and I think we should just go with Corey Clement. But then news on top of all this, keep piling it up. It's a mountain. That Philadelphia has, freed up like $6 million worth of cap this year by reworking Fletcher Cox's deal. And some people are saying, they're getting ready for Carson Wentz, or they're getting ready for this, they're getting ready for that. This year, though, the cap's for this year. They just made cap space for this year. And with the running back going down, knowing how Roseman likes to make his trades, something has to be afloat, man. I don't. Maybe it can be something underwhelming if you view it as extending Brandon Graham right now. But with how Brandon Graham has been playing, he kind of, really against Minnesota was the only game he did anything this year. I don't think that's the case right now. I think that something is a brewing. And if you trust Adam Schefter, you trust all the trade rumors. I mean, Philadelphia has inquired about David Johnson. The key word in there is inquired. I mean, Philadelphia could inquire about Todd Gurley. We're not going to get Todd Gurley. I would think out of all the names, all the running backs that are available, you got maybe bringing LeSean McCoy back. The Bills don't need him. Bills are terrible. It'd be nice, but can LeSean McCoy offer that much of an upgrade? Maybe, maybe not. You got someone like Tevin Coleman from the Falcons. I think that's probably our best and most valuable and affordable option because Falcons are 1-4. They have so many injuries. They're not coming back. And Tevin Coleman's set to be a free agent. I don't think Tevin Coleman's going to garner as much of a market as, the contracts that Le'Veon Bell's going to come with, the contracts that David Johnson's going to come with. But is Tevin Coleman that much of an upgrade over someone like Corey Clement? I actually kind of view it as Corey Clement and Tevin Coleman as a committee because Tevin Coleman's an explosive athlete, really one of the fastest running backs in the league, and he can catch. And then you have Corey Clement that can also, they're similar backs, keep them in a good rotation. They don't complement each other necessarily, but I think Tevin Coleman's their best option, but there's been no rumors there. Then it comes down to David Johnson, and I can't think of a reason why the Cardinals would trade him. He's the best player. They're a really, really young team. I can make up reasons why they could want to. I mean, they just re-signed him, so I don't think that front office wants to get rid of him, but he's not being utilized correctly. And if that front office wants to stick with Wilkes, they want to stick with Mike McCoy calling their plays, I mean, they're probably looking at this like, we just paid David Johnson all this money. Look, he's not catching any passes. His production's way, way down. Maybe we need to get out of this contract sooner than later. Like in a Chip Kelly-esque move. That's the only way I could see them moving him. And even then, that's ludicrous. So then it comes down to Le'Veon Bell. And again, man, I'm telling you, I think, if we're living in a fantasy world, if this trade happens somehow, some way, Philly gets Le'Veon Bell, I'm going to be as excited as anyone because Le'Veon Bell is, at worst, even if you hate his guts, a top 3 running back in the league. He's still in his prime, and it'd be a massive upgrade. It's an exciting move. But in my opinion, does Le'Veon Bell solve the issues we're having right now? No. In my opinion, does Le'Veon Bell, or a running back of any matter, with how this offense is run, how this offense won a Super Bowl, does a running back need to have that much of a salary cap in this offense in Philadelphia? No. So from that standpoint, again, doesn't make a lot of sense. I think Philly can have an expensive running back. We don't have to keep getting these undrafted free agents like Josh Adams and Corey Clement. But again, I think it back to a guy like Tevin Coleman. A guy like Tevin Coleman that's going to get probably fringe top 10 running back money. Like, that's the kind of guy that Philadelphia should be looking at. Not a guy that's at the upper echelon, understanding that there's so many players, Jordan Hicks, Nelson Aguilar, Carson Wentz, that need to get re-signed sooner than later. Brandon Graham, if you want to throw his name in there as well. So, I mean, we had to talk about it. I don't think, and I'm not even in favor of making a trade for any of these players, but if it does happen, it's definitely going to be exciting, and they would definitely help out this offense. But just think about it, man. Is the running backs right now the reason why this team is 2-3? Don't think so. So from that, we are taking all that news and we're going into the Thursday night game against the New York Giants. Like I said, man, I'm not doing an actual 10 things about the Giants game because there's not even 10 things to even talk about the Eagles right now. They've been a very frustrating team. And looking at this Giants game, obviously we saw when they played the Giants last year, the Giants just kept doing quick passes because Jalen Mills is so slow. They play so far out the line of scrimmage. You get 4 to 5 free yards on Jalen Mills' side every play. Have Odell over there. Odell has gone up and murked Jalen Mills in the past. It's going to be kind of ugly. It's going to be more. This is definitely going to be a game that our offense, who has yet to score over 25 points, is going to have to score over 25 points because for all the faults that the Giants have, a dog shit offensive line, shaky defense that's transitioning from a 4-3 to a 3-4, we're going to have to score points because they still have Odell. They still have Saquon. Even though Eli Manning's washed, Eli Manning's terrible. They still got Saquon. They still got Odell. They got a guy like Sterling Shepard. I don't know if Evan Ingram's going to play, but they have weapons. And the way our defense is playing right now, especially on the road, our offense is going to have to step it up. And our offense not scoring over 25 points. It was an offense that scored 30 points at will last year. That's a big story. That's as big as Jalen Mills' downfall and the struggles of this defense, is that this offense looks night and day from what it did before. The only common thing on this offense, and that's the best news for Eagle fans, is that Carson Wentz is still playing at a very, very high level. Offensive line isn't. Realistically, our offense right now is Alshon Jeffrey kind of working his way back in. He's been good. I can't fault him. It's been Carson Wentz and Zach Ertz. That has been our offense right now. And Brandon Brooks maybe at right guard. Everyone else has been suspect. And we're going to need to score some points here against the Giants because our defense is going to get picked apart. We got to wait about the trade rumors. If something's going to come from fruition from that, we will definitely talk about it. But, I'm just a depressed Eagles fan right now, watching my team have a Super Bowl slump. So predictions for this game, I think Philadelphia is still the best team in the NFC East, that's the best news about this. Everyone in the East looks terrible. Giants look terrible. Giants can't. They almost beat Carolina, and then they're still the Giants. They lost. Cowboys look terrible. They punt it. I haven't seen that bad. Like they got old Clapper. Old Clapper's not good. The Redskins got abused by the Saints on Monday night. So I guess that's the only good news about the Eagles right now, is that the NFC East is looking like the NFC least. And this game here against the New York Giants, we absolutely have to go in, do the damn thing, and get the victory. And I think we do that by our offense carrying the load. It's not going to be expecting our defense. The Giants are going to get 20 points. Offense is going to have to put up 30 points for the first time all year, I think, to get the victory, which I think will be the case. So I'm predicting Philadelphia wins 31-24 in a pretty exciting Thursday night matchup. Let me know what you guys think about all the trade rumors, about the Ajayi injury, about this upcoming game against the Giants in the comment section below. First time stopping by, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button. Smash the like button if you enjoyed. And until next time, it's C4 saying peace out.